sales director for Saratoga Retirement Community. I've been here in November. It'll be 9 years. It's been a long time here on this campus in Saratoga. And today we're going to be talking about breaking the paralysis of analysis. And Brian Schwatka is joining me today. He is a Realtor and Transition Specialist. He works at Keller Williams, Bay Area Estates. I met Brian within the first few weeks of me starting here 9 years ago. I met Brian because a lot of residents really love him here. He taught free iPad classes here, so I heard all about this great, nice guy. And then eventually we started working with him, and we do these webinars now. So thank you so much for joining us. Brian is a wealth of information. He really cares about the people that he helps, and he has a ton of valuable resources on his site that I myself go to sometimes to find something out. So Brian, welcome. Thank
Hi,
you.
Erin. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Brian Schwatka. I'm a Realtor and Transition Specialist with Keller Williams Bay Area Estates in Los Gatos and in Saratoga. And I've been a transition specialist for 20 years. I'm getting old. My hair's going away. I'm turning 60 this year. So that's me. And I've painted myself into a corner. I just help retirees get to retirement communities. It doesn't matter which retirement community, it really depends on which one they vibe with and which one makes sense for them. And we're not trying to tell you you should go to one or the other. We're just trying to educate you. We're not selling, or we just want to help you make the best decisions for your future, whether you stay or whether you go. So today we're going to talk about the breaking your paralysis of analysis. And I know a lot of us have paralysis of analysis. Some of us are aim, 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 shoot. Oh, aim, aim, aim. Whereas me, I'm kind of a bull in the china shop. I'm like, shoot. Oh, okay, need to aim, shoot. And then I get it. So I'm a little faster. My wife's a little slower. And really today, all we want to do is to get you to that sort of 51% mark. I know you're on the fence and it's a big decision. I mean, you've been in your homes for 40, 50 years. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You don't want to make a mistake at this age because it's hard to recuperate from a mistake at this age. So we feel you, we empathize with you. And so all we're going to do is educate you today, and then you can make your own decision, whatever you want to do there. So tell me if this sounds like somebody that you know. You know, I love my home. I've lived here for decades. I don't have a mortgage, so it's pretty much free, doesn't cost me a thing. And I'm not old enough to go to one of those retirement communities anyway. And they're way too expensive, I've heard. And, I'm not going to pay all those capital gains taxes when I sell my home. And what if I change my mind? I don't like it. I have too much stuff and my friends are starting to move. And it gets a little, overwhelming, right? And so I always ask people, what's keeping you from making this decision? This decision of either staying in your home, aging in place with in-home care services, or making the transition to a retirement community. And I hear all sorts of things over 20 years. Erin and I have heard so many, I don't want to call them excuses, but they're just reasons why they're not making this transition. It's like a catch. Where you haven't thought about it enough, you don't know enough about retirement communities, there's myths that you've heard about retirement communities. You think to yourself, I can just age in place with in-home care services, and I really don't want to give up my home. I love it. It finally got perfect. I finally got organized and downsized, or maybe you haven't downsized. You don't know if you can actually afford to go because maybe you don't have a financial plan in place, or you've never met with a sales director who can help you figure that out. Your home might need a lot of work, a lot of love. You don't know where to begin. You've got all that stuff, all that downsizing, and then you have this paralysis of analysis. So the definition of paralysis of analysis is overanalyzing or overthinking some situation or some decision that you're trying to make, and then you never take action. And what you kind of need to do is you kind of need to have courage, because you do need to be proactive. We don't want you to wait for something to happen. We want you to make something happen. So you have to be a bit courageous. And once your decision is made, it's that the agony goes away. The agony comes in the on the fence, that 50%. So I'm going to do this one slide. You're either in one of these two buckets, and you have lots of options. I understand you have lots of options, but really I want to make it simple for you. You really only have two choices. You're either in the bucket of I'm going to age in place with in-home care services, and your choices could be I'm going to stay in my home, but I want to ask you if you can physically and financially afford to stay in that home for the rest of your life. You could downsize to a smaller home, maybe go to a remodeled home because you want to live through a remodel. Maybe you go to an interim solution like the Villages 55 plus and dip your toe in the retirement living community water. Maybe you relocate out of the area. I've heard so many things. I'm going to live with the kids. The kids are going to live with me. Good luck with that. And the only other choice you have is to transition to a retirement living community. And we want you to, first and foremost, go to a continuing care retirement community or a CCRC where they have all levels of care. And you might want to ask yourself, do I want skilled nursing on campus and do I want memory care on campus? Those are huge decisions, and it narrows your choices down from about 200 communities to about 7 or 8 communities. And there's different communities. Some are month to month where you're a rental, and if you can't pay the rent, they ask you to leave. And there's others that have an entrance fee and a benevolence fund, and they will not ask you to leave should you outlive your funds. So that's really, you only have two options here. But you're right in the middle, right at 50%. So what today we're going to do with our agenda is Erin's going to share her top 5 reasons to make a decision or a transition. We're going to try and stay as neutral as we can. And I'm going to share my 5 reasons why I think you should make a decision or a transition. And these are based off of 50 years of working in the seniors industry. So we're going to switch off and we're going to try and get you to that 51%. So I'm going to start out my number 5 reason, and I'll do a countdown to number 2, and so will Erin, is the fact that I do not want you to outlive your funds. And by a show of hands, even though I can't see you, I know 100% of you are saying this is the most important thing. You do not want to outlive your funds. All of what you hear and what you read on the internet, it all boils down to the fact you don't want to outlive your funds. And so I'm going to talk first on the in-home care side. If you need about 3 hours a day of help, you're going to be paying $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Now, I don't know if you have an extra $40,000 or $50,000 per year to pay for that in-home care, but if you get to the red line, and you're going to see this red line a lot in this presentation, that's the line between independent living and assisted living. Once you need more help with your in-home care, you're going to need more hours, and those hours are based on a price of about $45 to $50 an hour. So your cost could go up if you needed 6 hours a day to $90,000 a year, and it could go if you needed round-the-clock care to $360,000 a year. 2 of those years you could pay your entrance fee at a retirement community. So in addition to that, if you need skilled or memory care from an in-home care service company, you're going to be paying more hourly rate. If you have a larger person and that person needs to be moved, you're going to be paying for 2 people, not just one, so prices could double. And then if you're paying around the clock, you're going to be paying some overtime. And here's the kicker is that you still have to pay all of those housing expenses because you're still living in your home. So some of you might not have a mortgage, some of you do, or a reverse mortgage, but you're still going to be paying the maintenance, the upgrades, the property taxes, your insurance, your utilities, your food, your entertainment, all of that stuff. Everyone says, well, I don't have a mortgage, so it's free. It's not free. It's pretty expensive to be living in a home. Now, on the other side of things, if you do go to a retirement community, and notice I put the red line above this, these are costs for assisted living at retirement communities, and this is just average pricing. You'll see that pricing is sort of similar, and you are still going to be paying for skilled and memory care. That's your prices are going to go up at a retirement community, but you're no longer going to have your housing expenses. So your reverse mortgage, your HELOC, your maintenance upgrades, property taxes, all that goes away. So I would say, and I tell people, in-home care could cost double. It could cost double what it would cost to live at a retirement community. So I'm not bashing in-home care services. I love in-home care services when you can get them. And it's a great little starter to understanding that I'm getting a little older, I'm needing a little bit of help, I'm not ready for the retirement community. Sure, use the in-home care services. But once you get to a certain point, you've got to make a decision before that red line comes. So that's my number 5 reason. Now, let me just tell you real quick. What's going to happen is when you're staying in your home, and I'm going to go through this as fast as possible. When you're staying in your home, you might be house rich, cash poor, and you're living on your cash flow, right? You're paying your bills off your cash flow. And if you need to dip into your investments, you dip in, and then you're not going to sell that home, right? You said, I'm staying, so there's a chain around that home. I'm not dipping into that home. The problem is when the red line comes, your expenses are going to go up. And if you're not dipping into the home, you're going to really go through your investments. Then you're going to run out of your cash flow, run out of your investments, and what's left is the home. You're in a reactive mode. You might have to sell your home. You don't know what the real estate market's like at that time, and you're going to be renting. That is the reactive mode. That is the not planning your life out mode. And we don't want you to get there. And so, what we want you to do is be proactive. And you bought your home as an investment. You're going to buy low, sell high, and you're going to sell that home and become a millionaire. And then you can do things and go places, and because you have the funds available to live your perfect life. And you'll use your cash flow that you got from the sale of the home, and when the red line comes, you'll have all of the money to pay for that extra care. And last but not least, you'll use your investments. So see how being more proactive is just a way of planning your life rather than just seeing what happens, right? So we don't want you to gamble on that. So sorry I took so long there, but I wanted to get that point across to you that house rich and cash poor is not fun. Millionaire is fun. That's it. So I'm going to hand it back to Erin now, and she's going to give you her number 5 reason to make a choice or a transition. So Erin, take it away.
All right, thanks, Brian. That was great and compelling. Um, so we have, when you apply at our campus, and many of you are applicants, and so we have a financial worksheet for you. And what this does is it enables you and us to determine, oh, is this a good financial fit for this person or this family? So we look at your age and life expectancy. We have an actuarial table that kind of works through all of this. We predict as best as we can how many years in IL, in independent living, in assisted living, in skilled nursing, in memory support will anybody need. The cost of the apartment or cottage that you're looking at. We look at your monthly income and expenses, your liquid assets available for the entrance fee, your other assets, uh, there is a medical care deduction at any campus that has healthcare, a licensed healthcare. So there's that. And then your current home value is what we also look at. And so we look at all of that uh, for you to determine, is this a good financial fit for you? So you can feel very comfortable once you've been approved by this campus, because we're very conservative on how we look at these things. We really want to make sure that anybody moving here, that this is absolutely affordable, comfortably affordable for them. So yeah, financial peace of mind, there's nothing like it. We're not going to get, I'll pick on myself. This isn't something I'm really going to get in my house. Like, there's so many factors that can happen in my own home that it would be really difficult to determine how much everything costs. But a campus like Saratoga can kind of define that for us, which is a great deal of security, frankly.
Yeah, I'd like to tag on to that because I've talked to a lot of financial planners because I always tell my clients is go talk to a financial planner. You need to have that peace of mind knowing uh, what decisions should I make so that I don't outlive my funds? And I would say 99% of financial planners don't get too involved with, well, if you need in-home care or if you need to go to the retirement community or how many years are you going to be in IL as opposed to AL and will you need skilled nursing and all of that. So Erin's financial planning spreadsheet is very succinct to catering to retirees, not can I retire or what age am I going to retire, but will I outlive my funds if these bad things happen? Because bad things could happen. And, we're gambling. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm healthy. I eat right. I do all of these things. But if something happens, I need to know and have that peace of mind that, okay, this can happen and I'm still okay. And so, you know, also these financial planners usually charge for a formal financial plan, which isn't that good anyway. So I would go into Erin and I would say, look, here's all my financial information. Can you put it into your spreadsheet? I'm going to live to 105 and tell me, where do I run out of funds? And she'll tell you also, maybe a buy-in community isn't for you. Maybe a month to month is for you, or maybe a two bedrooms are better than a one bedroom, or vice versa. So this is a hugely valuable thing that Erin can do for you. And I don't think you charge for this, right? It's part of the entrance of part of your qualification, right, Erin?
We don't charge for it. And
Yeah,
so, a lot of times people who want to join the wait list here will ask, hey, can I do this worksheet? And can you tell me, can I afford the campus? What can I afford on the campus? So it's great. It's a great way to gauge where
yeah,
you're going to fit, and make sure that, as best as we can, make sure that people won't outlive their funds, you
perfect.
know.
Yeah. Okay, well, I want to just dovetail into the next slide is the fact that your current home value, most people go on Zillow and they say, oh, my home's worth $5 million dollars, and really it's worth four, or vice versa. And so that information is very inaccurate. I've seen it be off by a couple $100,000 sometimes. So if you want to get a comparative market analysis, I can do it for you, or some other realtor can do it for you, but not other realtors maybe can help you fill out your capital gains taxes to know how much you're actually walking away with. Because just because your home is worth $4 million dollars does not mean you're walking away with $4 million dollars. So Erin would like to know a little bit more finer details there. So if you do want a comparative market analysis, you can go to the website stayorgohomeowner.com/CMA, and you can fill out all the information and I ask you everything I need to know so that I can give you that capital gains information. Disclaimer, I'm not a CPA, but I can get you really close. So that's free of charge. All right, so my number 4 reason to make a choice or a transition is the in-home care industry as a whole. It is the fastest growing service in the United States today. I'm not sure if it's because of all the baby boomers or it's post-COVID, but people want more in-home care services, so that industry is completely overwhelmed. You're going to get turned away 50% of the time because of the turnover rate is up to 65%. These people are not making the money they need to make. They're not enjoying their job. There's just no consistency. You might get a different caregiver each time. I've heard really weird stories about safety and security kind of issues when you're getting a new person in your home every day. And the reason I talk about this is because remember I said you only have two choices. If one of your choices is to utilize in-home care, you need to know if that's dependable and consistent and that you can actually use that as part of your plan and to not outlive your funds. Another real problem, I know you've all heard of this and you might even be experiencing this now. My mom and my dad are both isolated, and you're hearing a lot of reports about loneliness and depression and anxiety that comes along with being isolated. Even if you have a co-owner, you're still sort of isolated, and we're starting to see some physical and health declines. We're starting to see cognitive decline. It's a physical thing, even though it's an emotional thing, right? It's emotional because I'm lonely and I don't have all the friends I used to have, and my neighbors moved away and some of them passed away. And so now my life's a little bit different, but there's physical changes that could happen that we want you to think about when you're trying to make this decision, get you to 51%. You're going to have limited access to healthcare, daily activities. You're going to miss out on all of the socialization and that sense of community. And I think we need connection nowadays. And I think retirement communities are more of a solution than solitary confinement. So another thing that's near and dear to my heart, if you have a co-owner or something runs in your family or have any inkling as to any sort of memory support or cognitive decline issues, those people need consistency. That's what they need the most, is they need consistency in where they live and who they see and how they do things. And in-home care industries are not focused on dementia. I mean, they have a few people that do, but they're not focused on that. They don't have a separate division that works on that. And there's also a lot of hidden costs that go along with caring and keeping in your home with somebody that has cognitive decline, because they're going to need that 24-hour support, and they're going to need higher levels of security and safety in their home, like remodeling their home to make it even more safe than just not falling. I mean, these people could wander, they could turn the stove off and forget to turn it back off. So there's a lot of things that go on that you have to think about, of keeping staying in your home with somebody that needs cognitive care. And a community is better for both people, right? It's better for the person that's having the memory care issues because they're getting the professional care that they need at a dedicated facility inside of a continuing care retirement community. And then the spouse has that built-in community of support and activities and respite, because caring for somebody is very taxing. And I've heard of people passing away before the person they're caregiving for, because it's very difficult to care for these people when the in-home care company can't. So the spouse also, because they're on the same campus, they can visit each other all the time and do things together all the time. And that's the great part about being in a community, because you're there together on the same campus. So that's near and dear to my heart. And please take these things into consideration when you're making your decision. So, okay, Erin, do you have anything to add to that or whatever before you go on to yours?
No, I mean, all very true. All things that, we need to consider all of these things, it is, especially with memory support, it is a specialized field. And, every one of us, the truth is, none of us want to need memory support. We all want to be independent forever, and not need any of these services. But if we do, we want ourselves to be set up for the absolute best success that we can be. And good campuses with good programs and good employees, um, will serve residents' needs and their social needs, all of the things that you talked about, Brian, that are so paramount to us when we need that type of care. And longevity of staff is also something I would be very much asking any campus that I was considering. You want a campus that's able to retain staff, and that's very important for your own continuity of care.
Yeah. All right, we're going to switch over to Erin's number 4, reason to make a choice or a transition. We're doing okay on time. Might want to speed it up a little, Brian. You could stop talking as much. So, Erin, here's your number 4 reason to make a decision or a transition.
Great. So this leads right into it, but your personal safety, we have everything. A campus like Saratoga has it dialed in, to keep things as safe as possible. We have, we do all the ADA standards. We have, all of the extra lightings that you see here, to keep our residents safe, to make everything as accessible as possible to our residents throughout their lives. We have the emergency call system. We have security. We have patrolled security at night. We have staff security during the day. We have a lot of employees here, and 24-hour uh, nursing team members on the campus, which provides an enormous amount of a feeling of safety and continuity to our residents. And yes, people do unburden themselves and their family by moving to a place like this. I mean, we have a couple of families on our wait list whose parents live here because they see it works so well for their parents. They want this for themselves. So it's a great way to give yourself a great deal of peace of mind and your family.
Yeah, and your friends and family are going to tell you, "Oh no, we can help you. It's okay. You're not burdening us." And but they know, and it's difficult, and it's hard to ask for that help, and just not worrying about burdening your friends and family. They're going to really appreciate what you're doing for them. That you're making a proactive decision to relieve them of those burdens. So. Okay, my number three reason to make a choice or a transition is the burden of your home. And I know we all know this, and we might have a handyman, we might have a gardener, and everything's kind of a little bit on cruise control, but you've always got the water heater that breaks when you didn't think it was going to break. You weren't prepared. You've got all sorts of things, and you've got just home maintenance. It's like having a 57 Chevy. These houses are old, and you got to keep them up. They don't just keep themselves up. And then also you've got the upgrades that you're going to make. If it's broke, then well, if we're going to do that, we might as well do this, and if we're going to do this, we might as well do that. So you're going to be upgrading your kitchen and your baths and doors and windows for efficiency and painting, because we don't want to let that home rot or get weather or termites in it. You've got home safety upgrades. If you're going to stay, please, if you're going to stay, make that home safer for yourself. Don't put rugs on top of carpets. Get the bathroom rails. It's not going to you know it's not going to decrease the value of your home by making it safer for you to stay. One fall, one broken hip is so expensive, and the time to come back from that, and is Medicare going to pay the whole amount? And then I've heard that a fall, a break of a hip, could cost a homeowner like $100,000, even though a lot of it is paid for by Medicare because of the residual effects of that. So please make your home safer, make it more secure, because this day and age, we need safety in our homes, which you don't have to worry about at a community. And then you've got all these people coming in your home, right? And you don't know who these workers are. Are they vetted? Are they insured? Are they bonded, licensed? Coming into your home at certain hours, and are they casing the joint, and all that kind of stuff. So I want you to be careful. And there's that burden of having to do and think about all of this stuff. And then there's the surprises or the emergencies, and you got to find the right people. You don't just go on Yelp and find somebody. Um, you need a group of people that know you, that know your community, that know your apartment, that are accountable and responsible and tried and true. And that's very hard to find out there. There aren't a lot of workers out there just to come these off. Oh, my plumbing is out. Please come fix my toilet. You're a small fish in a big pond, whereas the Saratoga Retirement Community says we need a plumber, and they're there like that. Plus, they've got their own on-site maintenance, so there's no work there. The cost of all these services are going up, and that's going up everywhere. And so it's just a burden to have your home. And I hope you don't think I'm some realtor who wants to stick a sign in your lawn and I'm trying to scare you and I'm trying to say, oh, you should get out of your house and go to a retirement community. My whole system is called the Stay or Go Homeowner System. I want you to stay if that makes sense for you and you're not going to outlive your funds and you're making good decisions. I want you to go to a retirement community because I think that they're probably better. But either way, I'm fine. So please, when I'm talking to you, please don't think I'm trying to convince you one way or the other. Like I said, we're just trying to educate you. Erin and I have decades and decades of experience, and we're just not trying to be pessimistic or negative, but just honest and open so that you can see all of your options and then go, yeah, okay, I'm going to make this decision or that. So, anyway, talking again too much, but I just want to clarify we're just here to help you. So, Erin's number three reason to make a choice or a transition. Go ahead, Erin. Turn your microphone back on, and talk about the continuity.
So, you're so right. By the way, everybody who comes to tour us, our campus will often say, I don't want to deal with my house anymore. I don't want to deal with it. So that was a great slide. We hear it every day. um, but a lot of people definitely want that continuity of care. They want, they come in, you come in enormously independent. You're enjoying the amazing lifestyle on the campus, but that if you ever need it, we have an amazing assisted living program here, and they will help you with whatever it is that life throws at us, right? Different things can happen to us, but we have an amazing assisted living program that is for us, that we've bought into. That's all there for us. It's all we have this foundation of absolute security, because we have independent living, when we don't need help, but we want to have a lot of fun. We have assisted living if we do need a little bit of help. We have skilled nursing on this campus. That's something, if you're shopping around, make sure any campus you consider has skilled nursing. Tell all of your friends, because a lot of campuses will tell you, oh, we have all of it, we have everything. If they don't have skilled nursing, they don't have everything. Because here at Saratoga Retirement Community, we do have skilled nursing. So I'll pick on myself. If I'm in independent living and I fall and I go to the hospital, maybe I've broken a hip, I would get my hip surgery or whatever I need at the hospital. They would release me probably to our skilled nursing, where I'm going to have 24-hour care. My friends can all visit me. It's right on the campus. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. The people who work there, they know me. They know my dietary preferences. It's all here on this campus. Um, and then we also have memory support here. So again, it's all here for the residents that live here, and they love having that continuity in care. They love having the peace of mind. Their family greatly appreciates not having to worry. It's a burden that's lifted from your mind. It's invaluable, this burden lifted from your mind. So yeah, that's a great slide, and absolutely a reason why people consider Saratoga.
Next slide is, because I don't have anything to add to that one, you said it perfectly. My number two reason to make a choice or a transition is the real estate market fluctuations. Now, of course, you bought your home 80 years ago for $27, and you've made millions of dollars on your great investment. Good job. But at times we get worried because we hear the news and we say the real estate market's down 20%, like it went down 20% in 2008 to 2009 when all the lenders went out of business. And then, if we needed to sell and we were 20% off on a $1 million house, that's $200,000, right? On a $2 million house, that's a $400,000 drop. So you do not want to be selling in a dip, because any investment, you buy low, you sell high. So you want to sell at a high point, and this is kind of stressful, right? Look how many times the real estate market has fluctuated over the years. So that's a very uncertain sort of a thing, and it's another burden and another thing to be cognizant of or anxious about. In fact, we recently had another drop, which not a lot of people heard about, but we lost another 20% of our value when those interest rates, remember the interest rates in, I think it was 2020, went up from 3% up to 7% in a matter of a few months. And all the sellers said, well, I'm not selling. If I sell and get rid of my 3% mortgage, I'm going to have a new 7% mortgage. So they didn't do anything. And the buyers were saying, I'm not buying a house at 7% interest rate, so I'm not going to buy either. And so it all just sort of came to a screeching halt, and home values went down because the buyers couldn't afford as much home. So home sales were still happening, but the buyers couldn't afford it. So the sellers had to reduce their prices, and the prices went down, and we never know when that's going to happen. So that's it. It's just the real estate market fluctuations. It's a closure. I'm done with that real estate market. And now I've cashed out. So that was my number two reason. Erin, your number two reason is
New lifestyles and new neighbors. One of the things that I hear, when people come to visit us the first time is, look, my neighborhood is changing. The people that we all moved in with, that our kids grew up with, or that I got to know really well, they've moved away, and they're, the new neighbors seem great, but we just don't have the memories with them. We don't have they're not our people, you know. We're looking for our people. And of course we all are. Of course we all are. And this type of move is so advantageous to really anybody. I mean, you move into a campus like this, you have these amazing people, you have this great neighborhood, you have, tons of things to do every day. You just kind of look at your activity list. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? People sometimes, I've actually had a lady come in my office last week mad. Like, I there's too much. I can't decide on, and I've got this going on at this one time and this going on at the same time. What do I do? How do I decide? And what a great problem to have, fun things to do, fun people to do fun things with. There are tons of trips and clubs and groups. And when you're a resident here, you insert yourself in the mix. Things that you enjoy, other people would probably enjoy. And so a new club is formed or a new activity is formed because of you and your interest. You will infuse your flavor and your brand into the campus that you choose. And it's fantastic that you're going to do that because people will be interested in the things that you like to do as well. So you're always learning, you're always educating yourself, you're always forming new friendships with people. There's no maintenance. You know, there's no plumber that you have to call to have do all this stuff that you don't know, and you don't know who these people are coming into your home. You know these people. If something breaks, we fix it, and you know us. You'll get to know your maintenance team. You'll love them. Um, and your family is going to be so grateful to know they don't have to worry. When they come and visit you, it's not going to be, hey, can you get on the ladder and fix the thing on the roof? Can you change out that light bulb for me? They're not going to come and visit you with a laundry list of things that you need them to do. They can enjoy you, you can enjoy them, and you can have fun with them together. So, yeah, that is definitely a very big top reason of mine to move to a campus like this.
Yeah. Yeah, my iPad isn't working. Well, call the IT department at the
Yep.
community, right?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I do call them adventure communities now. I don't call them retirement communities anymore because it's the best chapter of your life. I
Oh, it
mean,
is.
you don't have to worry anymore, really, and if you can afford it. It's not for everyone, of course. It's a luxury.
Hmm. Well, and
Um,
statistically, people do live longer because, you're stimulating your mind. We need people. We do. Or, we in our homes don't offer any of this. So, yeah.
yeah. Another thing your home doesn't offer, and I've broken this down into four categories where the community is very geared towards seniors, senior living. And most of these things are not available in your home. And I broke it down into four categories: your health, your social and your fun, your convenience, your safety, and your security. And most of the continuing care retirement communities, and like I said, there's not that many of them out there that are true CCRCs, have lots of these sort of things because they are catering to a very small demographic. And so you can see how all these wonderful things, but I want you to focus here at the top, or sorry, at the bottom right, is you've got the dedicated staff with a high retention level, right? Because the in-home care companies don't have that because the people that work that are doing care for the retirees in the retirement community, they love working at Saratoga Retirement Community or at a dedicated company where they're staffed for the exact right number of people who are living in the community and everybody gets to know each other. And so I would much rather work at a retirement community than I would at some in-home care company that says, now you're going out there, now you're going out there. I hope you don't see anything you don't want to see. And I hope the house is in good shape. And I hope the kids aren't crazy, or I hope the neighbors aren't, or whatever. These people want the consistency, and that's why the dedicated staff has such a high retention level at the community. And also, you've got that continuity of care, assisted living, and then you go into skilled nursing if you need it, and memory care on the same campus. So that consistency, that continuity is there. And you just can't get all this stuff in your home. So sorry if
And
I'm back. Go ahead, Erin.
oh no, I was just gonna say one thing.
Yeah,
Even if I'll pick on myself. Right now, I can make myself healthy meals. I can, go to a restaurant. I can go to a class. I can go out and try and do all these things. I can, because I'm capable of doing that right now. And most of the people that move to our campus, they too are capable of getting out and going. The thing is, what happens when we're no longer capable of getting out and making the lifestyle that we know we need? When we're no longer capable in our homes of making that lifestyle happen for us, we're kind of stuck. We have not set ourselves up for success if we sit at home and wait for something to happen to where we can no longer access the things that we enjoy.
yeah,
Moving to a campus like Saratoga ensures that we get to access the things that we enjoy, as long as we're alive. There will always be ways for us to have this type of entertainment, education, and transportation, and all the fun things that we like to do. So really, you can only kind of get that at one of these places.
yeah. And the trajectory of your life, your perfect life, your vision of the perfect life, the trajectory at a retirement community with all of these services going to go either the same or up, whereas in your home, it's going to be either the same or down, the trajectory. So you have a better chance of having that fourth quarter of your life being the best quarter of your life. So,
And why wouldn't any of us want that, right?
right, right. If you can, then why not plan it? Like
Absolutely.
be proactive and plan it. All right, my number one reason to make a choice or a transition is the fact that you don't have to sell your home in order to pay this entrance fee. Because you got to get the entrance fee to get in, right? And we want you to go to probably one of the better CCRCs, and those usually have an entrance fee. And the entrance fee is due on an exact date. When your apartment's ready, they want their funds because they can either market it to you or market it to somebody else on the waiting list. So you want to give them your funds. Well, if you're going to occupy your home while it's on the market so that you can then get those funds and give them to the community, you're going to have to live through the home preparation, the home inspections, all the documentation, you're downsizing, you're moving, decluttering, the open houses, the photography. You're going to sell your home. You're going to wonder if I'm going to make it by the date that the entrance fee is due. Did it sit on the market for too long? Did you get a cancellation of contract? Now you have to put it back on the market. This is very stressful because then once, of course, you get the entrance fee, then you can move in. But it's more stressful to do everything before you move in while you're living in the home. And also, you don't know how long that transition or that transaction is going to take. Is it going to sell in one day? Or do you have a challenging home on a busy street that might not be in as good a shape as the other homes? And so you might sit on the market for a little longer, and Aaron's going to be like, your money is due on a certain date. Do you have those funds? And that's going to stress everybody out. Okay. So if you don't have the liquid funds to vacate early, you're going to have a couple of options. And I don't want you to do taxable options, right? I don't want you to sell your stocks or sell your rental property just so that you can get those funds to give to the community and then move and then sell because you want to vacate early. So I'd much rather you use tax-free options to gain those funds to give to the community. So you have some options. You can use some of your savings or your 401k and you can pay yourself back. You can use a home equity line of credit for a little bit of it. They're not going to give you a lot, and it's an unstable choice because of the fact that they could take your home equity line of credit away or freeze it. Or maybe you need some funds to do your home preparation. You could use your home equity line of credit for that. You can get a personal loan from the kids or friends and family. Say, I'm going to be a millionaire soon. Don't worry, I'll get right back to you. Can I borrow some money? Give it to the community so that I can move and then sell my house in a vacant state. Or you can use what's called a modified bridge loan, which is not a typical bridge loan, to get those funds, give to the community, move to the community, chill at the community. You have a couple of houses for a little while. Did I get everything I needed? I'm going to go back to the home, and then you give the keys to the realtor and they take care of it. But there you can do any combination of all of these, but I'd much rather you use tax-free in choices, because you're going to probably pay capital gains taxes on the sale of your home. And if you're paying capital gains taxes on the sale of your home and taking money out to get into the retirement community, you're going to get hit with a double whammy. So that's no fun. So what I'd much rather you do, like here, bridge loan, you move to the community, you give the community the money, everything's fine. It happens in exactly 30 to 45 days. When do you need the money? Oh, no problem. I can even get it to you early. And then there's no stress. Then all the crazy stuff happens and you're not there, and the realtors can handle this on your behalf. So this is my number one reason, is the fact that a lot of people live in their homes and get all this stress. And our number one goal is to not give you any additional stress above and beyond moving after you live somewhere for 50 years and thinking about all the downsizing and everything and all the moving parts. So anyway, much rather you do that. So I'm going to hand it back to Erin. She's going to give you her number one reason why she thinks you can should make a choice or a transition, and then we'll close out with some Q&A.
Don't wait. That's my number one bit of advice. People are always surprised when they come to tour Saratoga Retirement Community. You might remember your first tour here. We tell you, we're great. We have all of this great stuff here for you, but we're not the only one. We have good competitors. You should look around because we do have good competitors, and you should look around, but you should get on list. Get on a list and get into one of these places. I tell all of my friends, anybody who will listen to me, a nonprofit retirement community with the full continuum of care is gold. It's gold for any of us that can make this happen for ourselves. It is the best thing we can do for ourselves as people who are aging. We are all aging humans. So if we can make this happen for ourselves, there's no happy. It's like one of our residents said to me, I'll never forget it. It's like day camp for for adults. It's so much fun. There's so much joy every day, all day, doing different things. It's just a great life with built-in care if and when you ever need it. It's like such a great package deal, for yourselves. And why you're on this webinar right now. You're a planner. You've planned out a lot of your life. You've carefully planned and saved, and you want the best for yourself. Of course you do. So you want to get yourself nicely situated into one of these fantastic communities where you're going to have the time of your life. So yeah, this is my number one reason, or my number one bit of advice. Don't wait. I'm in my mid 50s. I have people touring my age now who are thinking about their future. I've had adult children come and tour for their parents and end up on my wait list, to move here because they recognize, wow, you know, um, this is a great place for anybody over 62. You have to be at least 62 to live here. So yes, you don't want to wait too long. You could wait too long and try and get into assisted living. But that's usually kind of waiting for a situation to happen that's not a happy situation. And now you're scrambling, what place will take me? And you don't want to do that to yourselves. If you can possibly get into these places when you're independent, and then everything is here for you. Everything is here for you if and when you need it. So yes, you want to come in, as Brian always says, through the front door, which is independent living, because our independent living residents, they enjoy knowing that they get priority over an assisted living. They get priority in skilled nursing. They get priority in memory care. They're the first. This campus is for them. We're thinking about them and we're thinking about their needs. So it's a pretty great situation to set yourself up in. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. I always say, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them and when to walk away and when to run. And we don't want you gambling on your health remaining the same. and we don't want you gambling able to get in the front door. So that's it. Just be proactive. So here's our top 10 reasons in order. Hopefully we got you to 51%. Mine was, don't outlive your funds. The in-home care industry is a little wacky. The burden of your home, real estate market fluctuations, and you don't have to sell first in order to vacate. And Erin's was the peace of mind of her amazing spreadsheet, the safety, security, and staff at the community, the continuity of care that you get with a CCRC, your new lifestyle, your new adventure, and not to wait too long before making a decision. So, a couple questions you might want to ask yourself. I'm not going to spend too much time. We only got 6 minutes left, but you please ask yourself these questions. Does my home suit my current lifestyle? Has it been upgraded to reduce the chance of falls? Does it have a downstairs bedroom and a full bathroom? That's huge. Can I age in place? Can I physically age in place? And do I have that support network of friends, family, and neighbors who are ready, willing, and able to help me age in place? Do I enjoy cooking? Do I get enough social? Can I count on my health remaining the same? Here's the biggie. Without selling my home, can I afford the cost of in-home care, skilled nursing, or memory care on a monthly basis? Of it could be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a month. So please be proactive. What are the next steps? We're available to you. We will not pressure you. We will just share our experience with you. I have no expectations, no strings attached. We want to just help you make the best decisions for your future. I wear a lot of different hats in being a transition specialist. I help you go through your 3 steps of your transition. The first step is, I don't know, do I really want to go? So I put on a lot of different hats. The first hat is a concierge, a consultant, a friend. We're going to talk about where you stand in your current home ownership, in 5 areas of your current home ownership, see where you're strong, where you're weak. I'm going to help you write a postcard from the future of yourself, your future self, talking to your current self about how your life is going to play out in the next 5, 10, 15 years so that you can really point yourself in the right direction. Why not call the shots, right? Be proactive. That gives you the clarity, certainty, and confidence you need to go to the next step. The next step is, well, okay, I'm going to go. Well, how does this all work? I need to know. I need to have all my options spelled out for me. Am I going to stay? Am I going to go out of the area? Am I going to go to my investment property? Am I going to go to a community here or there or where? And so once you know all of your options, that breaks your paralysis of analysis. I know I can do this. And I just want to tell you, one of the hats I wear is a Sherpa hat because I'm a realtor for seniors. I've done hundreds and hundreds of trips to the top of Everest, right? You need a Sherpa. I've got my clients, all of them, to retirement communities. So a typical real estate transaction does not include all of the things that you need to take into consideration when you're going to a retirement community and dealing with the downsizer and the hauling and all the different things and moving parts of moving to a retirement community. And then finally, I put my pilot's hat on. I'm ready to go. And I get you there in the least amount of stress possible in first class. So that's me in a nutshell. Um, I've got the Stay or Go workbook. If you're still on the fence after this will get you off the fence. This has the self-evaluation exercises. It has the vision of the future exercises. It has all of the links to all of our webinars so you can go and watch them and try and push you off the fence and break that paralysis of analysis. So that's on the website. It's free. You print it yourself. You fill it out yourself. If you have 2 owners, make sure you fill out 2 different ones and then compare your notes because your husband and wife might not have the same postcard from the future, but you do need to compromise there. If you want to get together in person, we can go through those 5 steps. I can educate you more. Again, no strings attached. We can talk about anything. I've got 20 years of blah in my head and I can talk forever, but you tell me what you want to talk about and we'll talk about that in our meeting. You can set an appointment right on my calendar. And then I will bring with me the pre-transition guide of how it all works. And this is the 4 steps of your transition. What happens before you get on the waiting list? What happens after you're on the waiting list? What happens once you've selected your apartment? And what happens during your move out and your move in? That's all there for you, and I'll bring that to you. And I think that's it. We've got some more educational webinars coming in the next few months. The one is the Ready, Set, Go, which is your homework between the wait list and your deposit. And then we're going to actually do the flight plan, which is the flight plan is spells out everything that's going to happen in the sale of your home from the time you sign a listing agreement till the time all the money dumps into your account. Every single thing that's going on behind the scenes, who's doing what, everything is spelled out. So you'll never be asking what's happening next. So we want you to be, I think, low stress comes with education. Once you know everything that's going to happen, you're not stressed as much anymore. And especially making that decision, just get to that 51%.
Mhm.
It's all going to be downhill from there. So that's it in a nutshell. We're going to do some Q&A now, but Erin, do you have anything, maybe next steps for them, that what they should do with you?
Call anytime you have questions. If I'm not available, we have Sherry Siglowski and Joy Frias here in the IL team. We have Jasmina Lopez. She's our healthcare sales specialist for any memory support needs you might have, assisted living or skilled nursing. But we're here for you. We know it's a lot. We know there's a lot to think about. But like you uh, so well articulated, once we look, we all know we need to make a decision. Not making a decision is a very poor decision. So we need to decide how to set ourselves up for success. And anything that I can do to help you with that, please don't hesitate to reach out, call, email, text me. I wanted to quickly answer these questions. Alan, you had some great questions. How long is the current wait time for an apartment here? I'd say for a typical 2 bedroom, 2 to 3 years for our standard size 2 bedroom. Um, Anybody getting on the wait list today can expect to wait at least 2 to 3 years. And 1 bedrooms, though, right now, currently, we don't have a long wait for 1 bedroom. So if you want to get into Saratoga uh, the as quickly as possible, call me up and let me know that you want a 1 bedroom because you'll get in a lot faster. Um, the number of residents at Saratoga Retirement Community would be about 200 residents in independent living, all told for all levels of care, 350 residents. Great questions, Alan. Please, any questions that any of you have, don't hesitate to call, email, or text. We are here for you.
I'd like to add real quick. It's like an insurance policy by being on the waiting list. Your name starts to percolate up towards the top. And if you really do want all levels of care on campus, your choices, you should go see your choices. You should go see bananas and apples and pineapples and pears. You've got Saratoga Retirement Community, you've got both of the terraces, you've got Sunnyview, you've got the Forum, you've got the place in Palo Alto, which is Chandler or Channing
Channing House.
House.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Sequoias,
Mm-hmm.
the V, which is $4 million buy-in. But I mean, really, it doesn't take all that much effort to go around and
Yeah.
see the continuing care retirement communities that actually have all 4 levels of care on
Yeah.
campus. So, you know, if you vibe with two of them, then put your name on two waiting lists, right? But
Absolutely.
start, be proactive, take the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Just start being proactive, and you're gonna feel so good, and start downsizing too. Get start on that junk drawer, in the kitchen. We all have that junk drawer. Get started, and the best adventure is ahead of you. So okay, I think we're good. Thanks, Erin, for having me. Thanks, everybody, for sticking in there the whole time. Questions, comments, concerns, requests, get a hold of us, and we'll see you on the next webinar. And thanks again, Erin.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.